Hey, hello my YouTube friends, how are you doing? Today I'm doing a video which is pretty unusual. I like doing shorts actually because it doesn't take much time and I get pretty good views on it. But sometimes when you do a video like this and some you do a lot of editing and stuff like that, it really takes a long time and there are hardly any views. Maybe my content is kind of boring. You guys think so? So anyway, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I really hope you can subscribe to my channel, guys. And my Patreon, all my Patreons, they're all on board for this whole period of time, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, so let's, I haven't been doing much vlogging, and the reason why is because nowadays I'm living in Hong Kong, and for me, I'm not, as I always say, I'm not political or anything like that, but you can see Hong Kong economy has been tanking. But people would say, oh yeah, because the States, Canada, everywhere is tanking. Yes, it is not doing well, the economy, but in Hong Kong, let me tell you, everything has just gone down the drain. Government, the government in Hong Kong, of course, wants to please the central government in Beijing, right? So now they think this Hong Kong is in a new group of places called the Greater Bay Area. So the government promotes, Hong Kong to integrate with, Guangzhou and the nearby cities, Zhuhai and Shenzhen. So we integrate together, and which is fine. I don't, nobody really cares. And the government is encouraging us to spend time in mainland, to integrate. So what has happened these few years after COVID, especially, people are going there, as the government wishes, and you see on the TV programs introducing, oh, this place is awesome, you can get good food here, and most importantly, you save at least 30 to 40%. For example, you get on a taxi, it's like $5 in US, in Hong Kong. Get on a taxi in Shenzhen, it's like $1.70. So in Shenzhen, I just blindly catch a taxi. I don't really care, right? In Hong Kong, spending is so high, and when you want to integrate cities together, it's too much of a difference, in Hong Kong. The spending in Hong Kong and Shenzhen and the Greater Bay Area, which is pretty, pretty hard to take. And I was talking about, over 200,000 people, young kids, young families have left Hong Kong, and they had to fill the void. So the government, Hong Kong government, wants to please central government and said, okay, we're gonna do these. We're gonna employ people, high skilled labor, to Hong Kong to fill in the jobs in Hong Kong. So from from a few years ago until now, there's around over 200 200,000 mainlanders came to Hong Kong to fill in the jobs. So which is, different in a way, because the culture is completely, really different from Hong Kong to mainland. So that causes an issue in a way. And the food in mainland China, which they eat, and in Hong Kong, foods are different. So now a lot of restaurants in Hong Kong, as I said, we want everybody go to the Greater Bay Area. So who wants to go to Hong Kong, even the locals, who wants to come here to spend, like 40% more to eat a meal? So you can just easily take a train, bus, car, ferry, just to mainland. And it's like 40 minutes to go to mainland. And if you take a high-speed railway, it's like less than 15 minutes in the heart of Shenzhen. So why spend in Hong Kong? So every month, around 300 restaurants in Hong Kong closes, bites the dust. And Hong Kong, politically, it hasn't been stable after the big protests and everything like that. So other countries have said it's not safe to have companies in Hong Kong anymore, because the Chinese government has full control of your data, your communication, everything like that. And they feel that, they have to be secured in a way, because they feel like after the law, the basic law, they added on the security law and many laws that applies to Hong Kong, which wasn't applied before. So now these laws are applied. So all headquarters like Wall Street Journal, DHL, big companies, LV Group, they all left Hong Kong. So Hong Kong, the offices are like 70. I think the news said it's not really, it's kind of empty. But for me, my experience, when you walk up to the offices in Central, it's like 70% empty or more at least. So because all these corporate companies have left, and even in Hong Kong, when you walk around the streets, you hardly see any tourists nowadays. You would see the tourists probably from, the countries that are friendly with China, right? But before it was a really you felt that it was an international city. But nowadays, I don't feel that anymore. Like I went to Japan a few times, and you see a lot of different people around the world. But in Hong Kong, the case, they would boost saying that, just now the anniversary of the Communist Party, and then they say, over, a million people, 2 million people come to Hong Kong, or more than that, right? But 90% of them are from mainland China. And the thing is, everyone knows that mainland China is not doing too great in economy-wise, and the kids, more than 60% are jobless. So what they do a day trip. They will come down. They won't even hardly eat anything in Hong Kong. They won't stay overnight. They will just bring their own water to come down because it's such a short journey, right? And the government expects them to spend. And it was so funny when they did the New Year fireworks. All the mainlanders came to Hong Kong. The government was so pleased. But after the fireworks, everybody rushed back. All means of transportation. They wanted to go right back to China. Or if they were further away from Shenzhen, they would stay in a hotel in Shenzhen, would cost like $50. But in Hong Kong, if you stay in a hotel, it would cost at least $150 to like $500. So the prices you spend is absolutely, big comparison. Talking about the housing market in Hong Kong, before you can just buy any property and just make a loan for like a 10%, 15% loan, and make a 25-year, 20-year mortgage, and you just buy any property, and every year the property prices will go up higher and higher. But nowadays, due to the economics of Hong Kong and political situation, the housing market has crashed up to 40%. For example, in Causeway Bay, it's a big touristy area, which you don't find many tourists anymore. In 2010, they bought a little 120 square foot, first floor shop, they sold it for around $1.5 million Hong Kong, okay, for 2010. And now, 2024, they sold it for $80,000. So from 1.5 million, it went down to 80,000. So you can think about it. And all the housing, there's all these taxes. We won't allow you to buy a second house, another property. Nowadays, it's all been canceled and stuff like that. Loans made easier, but of the higher interest rates and people leaving Hong Kong, the local people, the housing market has crashed. So thank God my friends, told me, 2 years ago, you better get rid of all your properties, sell it. So I've listened to them. I mean, I had a really comfortable place to live in, but now I just rent a little apartment. But just imagine I didn't, leave, I'll probably leave at loss around 40%. Even I reduced the price for 40%, nobody would buy it. And I would still be paying high interest for the mortgage. So that was a blessing. And nowadays, it's better if you had the money, you keep it in the bank to make interest. But nowadays, due to the elections in the States, they're trying to lower the interest rates from the banks. But I think it's not working. It wouldn't work. Look at the inflation. Look at in the States, you buy groceries and all that, you go to have a McDonald's, buy a steak. It's just crazy. The prices hasn't adjusted whatsoever. Gas prices are crazy, right? So think about, in LA, you probably pay $6 for a gallon, and that's just unheard of. So, I don't, for me, I stayed in North America last year for, almost 6 months. And now I'm back. I don't really want to go because I just want to feel what's going on in Hong Kong. But I feel, there's not much things to invest in Hong Kong that it will be fruitful. And what country that really benefit from all this mess in Hong Kong? Singapore. So a lot of companies, people, if they have opportunity, they move to Singapore because politically they're an independent country and they can make their own decisions and everything like that. So, good for Singapore in a way. But, for me, I spend lots of times in Hong Kong, and because they have a really low tax rate, which is an advantage. But now, 300 restaurants closing every month. All the storefronts, the prices has dropped. Some dropped 90% or more, and high interest rates. All the office buildings are practically empty, and public developers, public companies, they lost billions. They're in big debt, and plus they have to pay this high interest. So the bubble, it's just, I don't know how they're gonna hold it together. But for me, I'm just gonna stay put and just be, really careful before investing or doing anything. So probably, I'll make more videos, I guess. And thank you to my patrons, for during these hard times, my eye problems. And I'll be back in North America. I have to do my cataract surgery, because my eyesight, after my retina has fallen down, the chemicals inside has made my cornea kind of blurry. So now it's getting worse and worse that I can't even focus properly. So I have to go back. I've already made an appointment. So that's my next move, and hopefully I can spend more time with you guys making videos. So this is one of my videos, longer videos I made, and that is the situation for me in Hong Kong. So thank you for watching, and subscribe, give me a like, and I appreciate that. Bye guys.